Hey there, sports fans. We're back. It's another episode of Dinner with the Captain. I'm John Dinner, and I'm here with Captain Steve Priolo, captain of your Buffalo Bandits, National Lacrosse League, 3-time defending champions, and the hottest team in the NLL.
Maybe.
I don't know if we would have been saying that 3 weeks ago, but
We were the worst team in the NLL. We
I mean, certainly,
we acknowledge that.
if you're following along online and just watching social media, you kind of think it was the end 3 weeks ago, coming off a couple of losses in a row, but have bounced back 3 in a row now, and 3 big wins against 3 quality teams.
Yeah.
Statement games.
It's funny you say quality teams because I think we only have like top ranked teams left,
yeah.
except for Oshawa.
Yeah.
Like,
but even then, right? Like,
well, they're a good team. They're just at the bottom of the rankings, but I think we have like playoff contenders the rest of the way.
Well, and you think of what Oshawa's added to what was already a pretty young lineup when you think of Dawson Theed, and now Benesch goes over there and makes an instant impact. But yeah, so we got lots to talk about here this week, coming off the big win over Colorado, and then seemingly everything sort of following Buffalo's way with the rest of the week, except for those jerks from Toronto, seeming they got a win. And then looking ahead, and we've got a huge matchup with San Diego. Lots of playoff implications there.
Yeah, Toronto's looking good now with Rosie back. Sorry, I'm fighting my microphone a little bit here. There we go. I'm sure.
Well, you can
terrible.
tell we're not in the log cabin today. It's Tuesday of the March break, but things hum along here at Rosso Lake College over the March break. It's a great time for to bring tours in and people to come check out our campus when students aren't around, and so a lot of the behind-the-scenes work that goes on that keeps this school running is happening. And so we've changed locations. We're in the music room today.
We got a cello. We got some drums. I got my Great Dane sweater on that he just recently got us.
And I've gone all the way back to 2023 because I thought it was pretty interesting. I was looking at the names on the back of this jersey just to see who's been there for.
Who's left?
Yeah, it's
probably most of our core, right?
Yeah, the core, right?
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I thought it would be a few more, to be honest, and just noticed been playing at the margins here, and we're coming out of a week where there was lots of changes to the rosters across all of the NLL, but particularly obviously our focus is on Buffalo, and so let's start there. So we're headed into again, I guess we're calling everything a must-win. It's March to May, right? So everything's a must-win. So it's a big game against Colorado. They had they'd smacked you around the last time that you played. Some changes happened in the lineup, and so what's the mood Friday night?
It was about a little bit about payback, but it was mostly about the messaging was about just staying true to what's been working for us. Right? It's at the end of the day, that's more lacrosse is like you have to be prepared for every team, and you can't just solely focus on holding grudges and things. That's not going to work. You know, you need that effort level, but you need to be prepared. So yeah, just more of us getting on the same page. Again, we're adding 2 pieces like you mentioned there. We're adding we added Joey Resetarits, who played great, and then Tyler Hendricks, who didn't play, but he'll be ready to go, I'm sure, in the next week.
And so, I mean, and again, we saw guys that moved around seem to make an impact all over the place throughout the NLL, the guys that moved. What was the sort of immediate, like, you had sort of talked about it last episode. It was like, yeah, we're going for it. Was that sort of the sense Friday?
It was, man. And you could see it from Joey's first shift. I don't know when the first goal was, if it was like the first or second shift. But he's just in the middle there grinding, man. He's just taking a beating for this team that, he's now, I don't know how long ago it was, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, where we traded him away to Rochester. And it's like, now he's back with us. He believes in us. I've been friends with him ever since. Like, him and I grew up together, right? Like I said in the last podcast that, we've been playing together basically our whole lives. And to see him in the middle and just opening up space for Dane, he didn't get a point on that play, but everybody went over to him and be like, that goal happens because of you. And
they
I think
even
he
mentioned
loved
that on the TV, right?
Yeah.
Like they just the screen assist, right?
The screen assist, man. And I think he really appreciated the fact that we recognize that as our team. Like, we value that almost as much as the goal or more than the goal, right? It's like the guy that gets the guy open, 2 passes away, that sort of stuff. So
how does that mentality get built? Because, I mean, that's a coach's dream, and it's what coaches are trying to instill, especially when I think about what I try to teach, like the young guys that I like, hey, only one guy can put the ball in the net, but that could be that one guy's job. That's Dane's job, right? So Dane not putting the ball in the net or being the first assist guy, maybe he's not doing his job, but how do I convince that, like, no, your job is the bench, like, get off the bench, to the bench as quickly as you can, set that big screen.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Is that born out of success? Is it born out of repetition? Like,
yeah, I don't know. As you're speaking, it's kind of an unbelievable question, and honestly, I feel like for our team, and it might be different for everybody, for our team, it was built out of back-to-back losses in the finals.
Sure.
It was like it's hard to say, but it was like, fuck everything else, and we need to do what it takes to win. Like, we cannot retaliate. That's a selfish penalty. Like, we have to be on board with everybody, bringing in guys like Bucky and bringing in guys that are support players, and building our team around, like, winning more than accolades and things, right? It's, at the end of the day, Dane could have 150 points every friggin' year, but it's like, that's not going to
What do we want?
What's that?
What does he want, right? Does he want 150 points, or does he want?
But do you want to
history?
win? Exactly, yeah. And which is funny too, because I was looking at stats, man, and I'm like, so like Desnou's a specimen, man. Like when he was with us in Buffalo prior to leaving for Toronto, he was good. Like, he was a good player, and then when he went to Toronto, it seems like they just cut the tether and said, go do whatever you want, Desnous, and his stat line was incredible, right?
Yeah.
But I was always found like little like holes in their defense. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good. You can go get that guy and get that cause turnover, but like the risk reward isn't really what we value. In Buffalo, now that he's back on Buffalo, to see him buying into our system and then also still putting up like double-digit loose balls every game. He had 4 block shots. He had 3 cause turnovers still, and I'm like, the guy is still putting up crazy numbers in a system where you basically don't get numbers. Like, if you look at Colorado's defense, they play not similar to us, but they play very packed in. They sort of force up over top, and we like to force down, but like they play a very tight, sliding, switching on everything, help defense. And they had like 2 cause turnovers, like 1 for one guy, 1 for another, and that's it. And I'm sitting there going like, that's the way our rest of our team looks like. And then just Snoo just still has these crazy numbers, man. I'm just like,
so maybe the tether is just maybe just a little bit longer for him. Like,
I don't know. I think he's just still yeah, maybe it's longer, but like he still does our system. Like he does not put chasing out to the boards. He's not, he's not selling out to force guys down to go get that strip check, because the tighter you play, the easier it is to like recover to mistakes, right? Like all the mistakes can now be to the outside. But if you get spread, if you go to try to take that ball from the player, you might get it one time, but you also might get picked off. And now if you get picked off far enough away from the net, then the 2-on-1 is too easy for the offense to score. So it's like, we like to stay tighter. If you look at Vancouver, you look at Georgia, you look at Colorado, us, like we are tight defenses. So it also kind of comes with like a goaltending though too. Now that I'm just saying that, is like when you look at the goaltenders, it's like Dobson, Vino, Del Bianco, right? Ward. It's like, oh, these are all goaltenders that know exactly what they want. So it's like, it's just interesting.
They can sort of lead from the back end.
Yeah.
Does Desnous talk about, or do you guys ask him like what? Like, does the game move slower for him, or is he just constant fast twitching? Like,
that's honestly, dude, that's what it is. He's just unlimited. Like, I have unlimited energy, but I don't have unlimited Snoo energy.
Yeah.
Like, the Snoo has like spunky, like he's just rearing to go. He's like you just gotta let that guy go sometimes.
And I don't know how many people in Bandit, and I'm sure actually a lot of people do, but like, I mean, his nickname is Dr. D, right? Like,
and that was his name in
Toronto.
We call him Psycho Snoo.
Okay, there you go. But I mean, he's a guy. He's gonna be a doctor when this is all said and done, right?
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, to talk about like, man, just even that alone is time consuming and energy sucking, and then you throw on top of that what he has to do to be able to pursue a professional lacrosse career. We talk about it all the time, just the time commitment and sort of what you have to arrange with family and driving and everything like that.
Dude, he's running 24-hour shifts at the hospital and finding time to do his workouts. Him and I share workouts now, some mostly, and mostly our cardio workouts, because I think he can just lift a good amount too. But neither one of us lift crazy heavy, but it's like our cardio stuff. I'm like, okay, now that I don't have a gym anymore to run in. I don't have like a running facility. Like, how am I going to keep that cardio, right?
Yeah.
And even so, today was a different sort of workout for me. I can get into that, but it was like,
do it.
We're sharing workouts and because I feel like during a game I don't get tired.
Right.
I get tired at practice, and I get tired of my own workouts is when I'm most tired, right? You start getting like more dehydrated and all that stuff. But I push myself harder in the gym, then that way the fourth quarter comes and it's like you're still thinking clearly, which is the most important thing, right? And I think he does too. And he's just unlimited energy. He's also a little bit younger than me. I remember the good old mid 30s.
If you hadn't spent so much of that time in the box, right? But if you hadn't been in the box, you wouldn't have as much energy as you got now. All right, so we get to the game, and it's Colorado, and the house is packed again. The energy's got to be just off the charts. I mean, it looked great.
Well, we came out hot.
Yeah,
like coming out hot hasn't been our forte this year. So like to come out and shoot the ball like that in the first quarter, like
how much were the shooters saying that was on the goaltending, and how much were it was just like,
I don't know, man,
feeling good?
It was a lot of it was game plan. I thought JT had some of the best video sessions I've seen him this year. Like, he has really good video breakdowns, but this year it was like look at their defense. They are doing this, and this. He's like, if we do this, and this, we will have open looks all day. And it was like an aha moment, like, holy moly. Like, I even used what he said in my pregame speech of like, let's just do that. And honestly, man, it opened up a ton of looks for us. And like even Josh Byrne coming over the top, and when they adjusted, he throws that backhand, that BTB that goes in. Literally, when you slow it down, it goes in the middle of the net. And it's just like how Ward is coming out to play you. He just leaves that whole side open, right? It's incredible.
So was that premeditated?
I don't know if it was premeditated, but maybe by Josh.
Knew it was possible.
Yeah, just because of when you're sweeping over the top like that, like Dylan Ward he's so high up at the top of his crease that he has to respect you continuing and shooting that far side. So he's overplaying that. So Josh was able to, like, I don't know, that's not going to go every time, but you're able to at least keep him honest. Even if that just hits even if he saves it, it keeps him honest, keeps him on his post, which might open up that next far side shot.
Sure, or the dump to the crease.
Or the dump to the crease, yeah.
So I mean, the place is rocking. You guys are up 6-0, and by the end of the first quarter, I think it was 6-3, and they kind of made a bit of a game of it. But they never really got closer than that. I think they might have gotten within 2.
They hang around, man. Colorado hangs around.
And then it is the game of lacrosse, as much as we talk about, and this is one of the things that I really try to instill in our young guys is like, it's okay if they scored 2 in a row. What we can't let them do is score a third in a row, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a game of momentum and those kinds of things. Did you guys ever feel the momentum slipping on Friday night?
It's been having these 10 commandments that we sort of, I don't know, it's probably blasphemous to anybody's listening, but like we call it the 10 commandments on our team, and it's like we came up with this midway around the turning point of us of things that we can't let happen. So it's like goals off of face-off, like we can't let that happen. Like goals in the first or last minute of each quarter, like no goals then. It's like we need to lock in. There's a bunch
these defensive only commandments?
No,
or is this
mostly, but it's like I don't know why, but but for the offense, like we need to win that. We're basically trying to win the transition game. Like we need to come out on top of the transition game, and we have to win special teams. So it's like win special teams, win transition game. No goals in the last minute, no goals off faceoffs, no goals after we score. The next shift is the most important shift. So it's like it's just allowed us to almost just lock in and stay a little more focused. It's like we know that, like, hey, they just scored. This is the most important shift of our game now.
And is that literally being said on the bench, like those kind of reminders now? Or?
I say it. Yeah. Other guys I'm sure say it too, but it's like, I don't know. I only remember about 8 of them. So but they're posted on our wall, and and so that's kind of helped us stay focused a little bit, and
That's great. And so so it continues on into the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and it's kind of I don't want to say wind going away and stuff like that, but what's the mood as that game ends?
I don't know. I think I was happy for Coltrane. Coltrane Tyson played. I thought he played really well.
Big boy.
Dude, he's so tall. And he's jacked too, which
Well,
is cool.
It's wild because you kind of see him and you're like, wow, that's a tall guy. Like, and then they get the close up and you're like, that guy's enormous.
Yeah, he's actually so tall.
Yeah.
And he's
thick too. He's not just a string bean.
No, and he's the nicest guy too. He's a little raw, like it's his first game NLL, but he's 24. Like he's an older rookie, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's like those older rookies like McKay and these guys, they can just step into those roles. So it was nice to see him. Dude, he played so good. He played like a lot like Resi, man. Like get in there and get grimy. I didn't know how he would fit into the systems, but I thought he did a really good job. Taylor Dooley came out the back door for us with Nick Weiss being down.
That was a sort of a last minute thing, right?
Yeah,
With
Dylan
Weiser.
Robinson was out, so we were missing Weiser, Robinson, McKay. It's kind of just a different sort of lineup.
And then and Hendricks as well. So what was that? Then, just an injury or?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know with that one. I think he passed all his physicals. I think he was ready to go. I just think JT wanted another practice with him just to get him. Like at the end of the day, Coltrane's been with us all year,
right?
So there's like less systems to have to teach. So I have to put. It's a little bit of a risk of being like, okay, there's 2 new guys coming in, but there's 2 new guys coming in no matter what. Yeah. At least one of them's been with us most of the year. So
and you had talked to even I think it was like week 4, week 5, where JT was lamenting that he had these guys on the practice roster that he'd been trying to figure out ways to get them in, and you guys had been relatively healthy, but maybe not playing your best lacrosse, and so that's not really the time to be making those changes. And so again, sort of everything coming up Buffalo. So big win gets you above the 500 mark, and everyone's feeling really good. And then are you guys in the change room now at Scoreboard watching? Is that part of the topic of conversation that's happened in Banditland?
I don't know. Not really. We're kind of always watching, Ottawa losing sort of like helps us, in losing to Calgary, but like it's hard. It's still, to me, it's still so far out that it's kind of like hard to tell what really works. I just know that like San Diego lost to Sask, that helps us too, right? We're just trying to fight those teams that are sort of at the bottom.
The guys at the top, you guys can kind of run away with things.
Rochester got smoked by Vegas. That was an interesting game to watch.
Well, that's huge for Vegas too, right? Because they brought in some big money, big ticket guys, right? And tried to make a bit of a splash. They're trying to break into a very saturated entertainment market down in Vegas. And I think anybody that does end up going to a game in Vegas is treated to an outstanding event. And then
it was packed too.
Yeah.
It was
and then you go 17-10. So that's an exciting night, and it was Lymphoma night. They were tying it into Tucker a little bit. It wasn't a Tucker Cup game, but you could certainly see they seemed motivated. Would you?
Yeah. It was like I think they had Tucker night before the Tucker Cup came around.
Right.
I was trying to figure it out too. I'm like, because we had it before it came around too, and then once Sean went there, they had their own Tucker Cup, and then once Dyson was drafted, then they became the Tucker Cup. So they had a Tucker out night. We have one. Separate nights, and then we have the cup all together. So yeah, like for sure at halftime you saw they did all the interviews with the guys, and it's just like it brings back a lot of memories and things, and about my time with Sean and when he played in Buffalo and when I played with him in Brooklyn and all that, right? But it's like I don't know, they must have been sparked because they came out of the gate flying, man. And the new blood with Tyson Bell, like I actually thought he played really well. He didn't take any penalties, which is good. Kind of
that's kind of his thing, right? Like,
penalties.
Well, but I mean,
sorry,
he plays on that edge, right? Like, and so if he can balance that edge and not spend time in the box, because I mean, he's even more important now. Going to Vegas, right?
For sure, and he fits their system. I think they were looking for somebody like him back there, so he can run with the big dogs, and then he's settled into. He knows how to play his style. So it was good. It was a fun game to watch. Rochester's interesting right now, man, because.
Well,
I don't think they're that bad. They're just like playing bad.
Yeah, like they brought in Blaze. He gets
Blaze
2.
played good. Like Fields, he had a bunch of open looks, and I just think with the goalie, like they put Alexis Bouquet in net, and I was like, he did not move. And I think they're like with Ryan Smith and Fieldsy and these guys, they're kind of deceptive shooters. Like Fieldsy shoots so hard, and I don't know if he's as accurate as all the time as he could be if he took a little bit off it. He's just drilling Bouquet. I'm like, you guys aren't really shooting that well. And then obviously Vegas, just sniping away on those 2 goalies. They're flipping back and forth the whole time. So they actually play each other next weekend or this weekend coming up. It'll be interesting to see which goalie they start with.
Yeah. And actually that was one of the parts, like, so, I mean, you guys chased Del Bianco
Dylan Ward.
Dylan Ward. What does that do for a team when you guys see them kind of like switching goalies? Or
I don't know what they're. For me, it gives me it makes you feel like they're on their heels. But honestly, I don't remember that guy's name, but he played freaking good, and he's been. I think Dylan Ward's been like chased the last like 3 games or 4 games. So it's like this new guy coming in has been playing really well. So I think he's got another year junior too. They were saying he's a big guy.
Wow. Well, I mean, you guys tested him, and I mean, he did play well, but not enough to get the W. And so any other games sort of stick out? Toronto squeaked by. They got 2 late, and including the overtime winner in Halifax. That had some playoff implications. But I mean, that sort of takes Halifax out or brings them down at least a little bit further. And, I mean, Toronto's trying to create a little bit of separation. Like, I mean,
that's a tough one because they're both sort of chasing us. It's almost like I don't know where we are head-to-head with Halifax, but I know we have the head-to-head with Toronto, so if we end up tied with them, we'll be bumped
and
up
Georgia.
ahead.
And so speaking of all these permutations, like Facebook was going crazy, like in Bandit Land. They've got all the permutations.
Oh, really?
A few weeks going.
Oh, dude, I got to look at that.
What could happen. And so, again, it all came up really great. And so you come out of that week. Do we have an injury update on McKay?
He's still just sort of day-to-day, I think. Yeah, him, Weiser. I was texting with Weiser a bit today. He seems like he'll be pretty good to go. Dylan Robinson, man, like actually just threw up like during the day, like food poisoning or something. But he was kind of fine. But it was like, okay, we're not going to put him in. As soon as he threw up, they're just like, go home. We don't need that now.
Yeah, and don't be getting anybody else sick.
Exactly. So but the other games, man, Benesch.
Yeah,
Ryan Benesch passing Colin Doyle. I think 4th all-time goals, points or whatever. So that was interesting. It was funny, man, because we knew that he was close to that in that Toronto game. We were all like, all right, man, next game, and then traded him or just cut him. We're like, oh my God, sorry, dude.
And it would have been good to get. I mean, it would have been interesting, right, for a Buffalo guy to sort of pass kind of a rock legend a little bit.
Yeah.
And, do it against Toronto would have been kind of fun, but seems to have settled in. Like, I don't think he was doing anything different, but just again being able to be a bit more of the focal point in Oshawa is gonna, like, he's just gonna get more shots and get more opportunities.
I think he's more of like the number 1 look. I don't know where he was on our team, but it wasn't really number 1. It was maybe tough. 3 or whatever, even 4 sometimes. So it's like it's tough, right? But him playing with Dawson Theed over there, right? So it's like he's gonna draw a lot of attention. He's gonna draw 2 basically every time, and then he'll be able to flip it to Ryan, who can obviously put the ball in the net. So good for him, man. I think hopefully he finds a nice home there. He's been having talk about it being his last season, so we'll see.
And then Lucas Nielsen leaves the Bandits, goes to Philly. He gets on the board.
Yeah.
And sort of, I mean, it sort of seemed like everybody just kind of did something this weekend. Do you guys pay attention when you see a guy that leaves, or is that too hard?
At the beginning, it's easy.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you watch it, but you drift apart after time. But I know I think he got 2 or something, didn't he?
Yeah,
he might have got 2. I'm not sure, but I think that's just Philly's going to be a good fit for him, man. Like as good as Buffalo was for him, it's just the kid needs to play lacrosse. There's no more sitting on the bench for him. I don't know how much, if we, with Rezi and Dahoga and Dane sort of being those, with Bucky not knowing when he's going to retire, right? So, I don't know when that Lucas Nielsen sort of.
Yeah, his window's
starting to shrink, right? It was, especially with being able to get Rezi there. So
so lots of things happening, but we talked. So he goes and passes Colin Doyle, and so we started talking a little bit about milestones and stuff like that. And we were talking, and there was lots of NBA milestones over the last week or so. I don't know. For me, the one that just like is one that's sort of so difficult to quantify in different sports is Shea going off for 20 points a game for 6 million years.
I think it was 127 games, man.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, is there an equivalent in lacrosse? Like, is that like, because we have guys that they average more than 3 goals a game, and you have NBA players that average more than 20 points a game, but that day in, day out consistency, every single time he shows up, he's getting 20.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the lacrosse equivalent?
I don't know. It's funny with Shea, though. I thought it was 127 games consistently with 20 points, but it's like of the the games he's played.
Right.
So I thought he played 127 games in a row. I was like,
sure.
I was like, holy shit, that's like a
Iron
milestone
Man
of his
streak.
own.
Yeah, especially in this day and
Yeah,
age, right? With the
really.
NBA, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, how does he even do that? But
Yeah.
it was just like the games that he's played, he scored 20
Yeah.
points or more. And he's not, I think it's now 28. He got that and one. He got 21
Yeah.
points or whatever in that one game. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, like what would be the equivalent of that, like you said, is maybe three goals a game for 3 years. Yeah. Something like that. Like,
but in every single game. Like sometimes you're going to get 4, sometimes you're going to get 5, but you're never getting less than 3, right?
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough because it's like our yeah, like how do you even quantify something that's hasn't been done it's the first time it's been done in its own sport.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, how do you
get close to that? Like
yeah.
Yeah. And then
It would have to be something like that. I'd love to hear about that though. Like what would be the lacrosse equivalent of 83 points?
Well, I think that one's a little bit easier because you can kind of go and you can say, okay, what's the most goals that have ever been scored in a game?
I think Stano still has a record with like 17 points in a game.
17 points.
17 points in a game,
Yeah.
which is kind of ridiculous.
Well, and sorry, going back to and Steinos said if you pay attention to
Ari scored his
yeah,
son.
Yeah, getting a goal and
it's his third. That's his third boy, one of his middle kids, and he got his first. I messaged him right away.
Yeah,
and he's like, "All right, we'll see you next weekend in San Diego."
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So and then what would be sort of second to that, right? Like, is it just points? Is it goals? Like
to the Bam Adebayo one or the
like you had Kobe get 81 and then he gets 83 and then it became kind of like when those kinds of things are happening. We talked about it, I think, last year when Dobie was went for 6 against one of the teams, right? Like, is that stuff that starts to be talked about in like individual stats? Like, we're going to shut that guy down.
I think
if you've got a guy coming in that's going to maybe set a record that night, are you guys aware?
I'm not aware of anybody else's milestones.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't have I'm not.
You don't even know your own milestones.
Don't even know my own. But it's like, because I like watching games and you find out, oh, Ian Lord's creeping up on Brody Merrill for games played. He's gonna pass him soon. And we're at like 270 something. And I was like, I wonder how many games I have played, right? And
this weekend, 250 is gonna be this.
No way.
Yeah, buddy.
I didn't even know. Yeah. It's like, so there you go. So 250 games. I'm starting to creep up on certain things like that, right? And it's hard, I think, because our as NLL's coming up on its 40th season next year. They're talking about that, but we're still so young.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even really keep track of things until like 2012.
Yeah.
Like, really.
it was just written down.
It was just like,
I know some of the statisticians that worked for The Rock.
Actually, like half of our stats were brought in like 2022.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, block shots and cause turnovers and this thing and that thing. And it's like, so we basically kept track of points but I think honestly, I think a lot of these records from the early years are going to be broken in lacrosse. I think you're going to start seeing, I guess the mid to late Dane Smith era onwards is going to be like, now we're setting records that are going to last. Like, I'm not going to lie, I think all of JT's records are going to go down. I don't know about Dan Dawson, but his games played and assists record, like, I think he's going to drop his assist records to Dane. I don't know about games played. He played a lot. It was like 320 something. So I don't know, but the reality is that like we're adding more games all the time. Like, I don't know when the next time we're going to add games is, but we're playing 18 game seasons now. When I came to the league, we were playing like 16 game seasons. When JT came in, they're playing 8 game seasons. Yep. So it's like you're giving up a whole year of your life, to play 8 games. So like JT almost, if they played 16 back then or 18, could he have 25% more points? Maybe. Or maybe he wouldn't have the longevity he had. I don't know. Right? He played till he was 45.
Right. And that was going to be my next point is, so you got like guys like JT and Dan Dawson playing into their 40s and they're unicorns in their own right, not just being old guys, but the kind of excellence that they had for all of that. But now you kind of have this sort of group like the Dane Smiths, you guys, right? Kind of those mid 30s that sort of didn't really exist because of I got to get on with my second job. I got to get on with my life. So
that's
people
a
started
good point.
retiring at like 31, 32 because hey, I got to go to work, right?
You got to make a choice.
Yeah, and now that choice is made a little bit easier because you guys are getting compensated a little bit more. But on the reverse side of that, you're having to play more and you're having to sacrifice a bit more. And so it's going to be an interesting balance. But yeah, really looking forward to celebrating 40 years of NLL. We'll try to dive into that as much as we can next year. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about today before we get to heading out to San Diego and going to warm yourself, we're filming this on Tuesday. It's minus 16 outside right now.
I thought spring was around the corner, and here we are, midwinter again.
But Buffalo is hot, right? I mean, the Bandits have obviously brought the energy to the town and brought championships. The Bills have been there for the last couple of years, and now the Sabres, seemingly from the doldrums, where they make a change in the front office, where it was like, and this guy came in and was basically like, there's no more mediocrity. We're trading everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've traded anybody. And they're now the hottest team in the NHL. And they're fighting everybody. And like, do you guys cross paths? I know you guys don't. I mean, typically, if you guys have a home game, they don't. But do you guys see each other in any sort of sense?
Honestly, we don't.
Yeah.
We see, like, sometimes I'll see them crossing from, they have a practice rink across the street, and like, we'll see them coming in and out. But it's not like you're going to sit there and talk to them. Like, when the Bills come to a game, like they come down and talk to you, like they hang out. It's almost like we have more in common with them, but we have like media people crossover. So it's, people that follow and do all the Instagram for the Sabres, like they're also doing our Instagram promo stuff. So we get to hear about things and just different rumors and everything. But Keith, their equipment guy, he's always around. He's great. He's great to talk to and try to get in his ear about what they're doing. But yeah, sometimes just a threat is all you need. Is like, listen, all your jobs are now on the line. Like, essentially that's kind of what happened to us at the trade deadline. Was like, you guys want to keep this thing together? You want to keep this team together? Start winning games.
Yeah, you know what I can get for Josh Byrne right now?
Yeah, exactly, right? A lot more money in a bank account to get rid of Josh Byrne.
But so, I mean, I believe in this momentum. Like, I look back at, like, again, being an old guy, the 90s Blue Jays and the Leafs, and then the Raptors and the Leafs sort of seem to coincide. The Raptors and the Jays coincided and stuff like that. Do you have any sort of belief in that? Like, there's this momentum that you guys have created that has helped the Bills, that has helped now the Sabres, that helps you guys?
Maybe.
Like an energy in the building, or? It
might be that, but it also might be just when teams are doing well, it gets people to notice, and it brings in, more fans, and then you can spend more money, and then you can do a little more with that, and the energy's up. So when one team's doing well, just brings in more interest, and then the higher ups are like, yeah, like we should start doing well in other places. So right, so it's
this seems to be a good idea.
Yeah, so it seems like it's like the Sabres were just good with status quo forever, and then it's like the Bills are doing well, the Bandits are doing well. It's like, shit, we need to start doing well. Yeah. Like, maybe that's just what it is. I don't know though, man. It's how much do the teams want to invest? How much money do the owners want to pay guys and lose on things like promotions and bringing in big dogs, and they got to figure out their bottom line too, right? So,
but does it help the players in any sense to be motivated when they're like, hey, we're the hockey team and we're third on the list now, or we're fourth on the list when it comes to what people are talking about in this town? Like, is that something that you guys as lacrosse players, who are traditionally or typically kind of like, as even the NLL itself, right? The next major, right? Like, or the next major league, which to me sometimes is just like, man, no, you guys are already major league. Let's not talk about the next. But do you think, is that a motivator to like be the stars of the town?
I don't know. Initially I was going to say no, but then a little bit it was like when we were losing this year, and then people would start saying like, well, at least the Sabres are doing good. And we're just like, yeah, man, we're going to start doing good. Just wait. Yeah. And it's like, maybe it is a motivator, right? Because you get kind of mad, like you don't want to be the team that's sort of not doing well in a city of places doing well. Also, like with the Sabres, I don't know how many guys are even from like North America, right? They're from all over the world, and how much are they invested in North America, let alone Buffalo,
sure,
right? And it's like when you get the Bills and you get us, it's like we're almost
teams.
as town as it can go. We have two hometown guys on our team, right? With Belter and Resi. Like Resi lives down the road from the arena.
And then St. Catharines, right? You guys are well represented.
I grew up right down the road. So
and even just that whole Southern Ontario.
It's a little more invested in that area, right? It's like you want to see your nieces and nephews they're all coming to the games. They're all, dressed in Bandit stuff, growing up. So it's cool.
And so then the last thing when we talk about motivation, and this was a big story outside of the lacrosse, is the Austin Matthews injury and how it all happened, and then sort of the lack of a response from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
As a captain yourself, and this isn't about what you'd hope the guys would do if you got injured, but when you see a big hit or you are aware of a hit that's sort of dirty and stuff like that, and there's maybe not the response that you want. Like, well, I'm not going to parse and go back. And I mean, Easton Cowan is the smallest guy probably and the youngest guy on the team, but that doesn't matter. How do you move forward from that as a team when the response, I think, universally is that wasn't good enough?
Yeah. We were talking about this before, right? Because we related it to the Gash hit on Frazier, and then Belter stepping up and just grabbing Gash, right?
Without even knowing. I mean, it turns out Frazier popped right back up and was ready to go.
That's the thing, is like, it wasn't even a dirty hit. It was just that's our like mentality in our locker room, right? We were actually talking about before where some games where we played Toronto, we would have Chase fighting, Kluche fighting, Dane grabbing guys and throwing them, Josh grabbing guys and throwing them. Like, our offense was just all dogs. Like, it was like one goes, we all go mentality. And that's just like sort of our culture on our team, right? So if it's something that's just like a questionable big anything, it's like, honestly, the game happens so fast. So it's hard to tell, like, if the guy's hurt, if it was dirty, if it was clean. It was just like, oh, that was too much. I'm going to go in there and at least grab you. And it doesn't always need to be a big fight, but you got to be just grabbing guys and at least wrestling to the ground. When you watch that, the Hartley hit to bring that back up, it's like Dilks hasn't been in a fight in forever, but like he's in there right away and just bear hugging and throwing
he didn't even
guys.
Break stride, it seemed like.
Yeah, it's just like, that's just the mentality, is like, that was not okay and I need to get in there, right? And it's like, I guess that's where we were saying before that the culture in Toronto in the Leafs locker room it's not as much on those guys that are on the floor as much as their culture on the ice. It's like they obviously don't have the response of like in right away, whereas any other team there must have. So is it those guys on the floor that were just all being, I don't want to get beat up, or I don't want to be soft, or I'm going to be soft, or whatever? Or is it just like a bunch of them just being like, I don't know what happened and I don't know what to do because I don't want to get a penalty?
Yeah, that's not my role.
It's not my role. Like, is that their culture? I know in other places, like with the Sabres, it's not that right now. It's one go, we all go, sort of thing, right? So I think, like we said, is everybody's showing these videos of like Gilmore getting hit and then Wendell Clark stepping in and just going crazy, right? And it's like, well, where's that for the Leafs? And I think they're gonna respond. Like, you don't take criticism in Toronto media and not respond and keep your job. Like, those guys are under the microscope always.
And they have seemingly, I mean, the rest of that game, it was Anaheim. They sort of hung in there, and then they had a good game against Minnesota. So I mean, who knows? Maybe something. So, and then that was going to be my last question as we get into the next looking at ahead is, so can something like that be a catalyst for moving forward? You guys are talking about going for it, right? Trade deadline made a couple of moves. Like, can an injury to a big star or whatever else, the drama that's surrounding it, like, can that serve positivity?
Depends who your people are.
Yeah.
When Josh went down in 2023 in the finals, it was like Dane texted me right away. He's like, I'm ready to put this team on my back. I've been training. I have the energy. I have everything it takes right now. Like, I'm ready. I'm going to put this team on my back. Like, believe in me. And like, whether he is able to do that stuff or not, like, he believed he could. And he had the mentality that, like, Josh is down, I need to step up. And I love that, right? Instead of being like, oh, Josh is down, what are we going to do? He didn't text me, what are we going to do? He texted me, I'm ready. Like, I can put this team on my back. I can put this offense on my back, lock down back there, and we got this. And it's like, that's the mentality you have to have with the Leafs, right? They need to be doing this, like, our score went down, but we need to just, who's going to step up? Like, you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be somebody asking around, be like, hey, who's going to step up or whatever. It's just, it needs to happen on the ice right away.
And it needs to be everybody.
And it needs to be everybody.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you guys have seemingly stepped it up, certainly in these last 3 games, and I think you would argue it was just a continued progression. But from the outside looking in, again, you've got all this woe is me stuff happening online and people wondering if this is the end of it. And now they're talking about, you guys, this is the greatest, look at how good they, and everybody's, and it's not even recency bias, because now they're talking, look at this, we're going to be 6 straight times to the finals, and like this, right? And so how do you guys deal with that kind of energy around the team, these ups and downs? And because you've been dealing with your whole career, and I think that's what separates professional athletes from the rest of us, is that short memory kind of stuff. But
yeah, we do a really good job in our locker room of blocking that stuff out, dude. It's like, I'm not even looking at the finals, man. That's a big reason why we break it up into these 6-segment chunks. Is like, you can't look at that. You got to look in the loss column. You got to see who you're chasing. You got to just start dialing it in, and then the games will come. The future will come. Just be prepared for when you get there. So I don't know, man. I block all that stuff out. I block out the downs. I block out the ups. I know our feelings in the change room. We do have ups and downs feelings, but it's like, we can address them in there. I can't control what's going on in the media or what's going on. I don't even talk to the media anymore. We're our own media now. Yeah. I made my own media because the media won't talk to me. So I'm just like, I need a place where I can say shit I want to say.
And so looking ahead now, we've got a big game with San Diego. But you guys are headed out that way, and it's a Friday night game. So what is the rest of the week? We're here Tuesday. What do we got?
Yeah, no practice on Wednesday, which is nice. I did 2 pretty decent workouts yesterday and today. And then I'll do another one now on Wednesday. Thursday will be more mobility stuff, and then fly out Friday. We actually fly out early Friday, and because we're going the right direction, we get there at a pretty decent time. Then we practice, and we'll go out have a team dinner. I got my buddies who live in California. They're going to drive down. They drive their camper van down. Mike and Ash. They're going to drive down and come to the game. My mom's flying out. She's coming to the game. She's going to stay late, which is cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I'm going to maybe try to meet up with them, maybe Friday, but definitely for sure Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited, man. San Diego's always, they're always a tough challenge, but they're always like, it's just a pleasure to get there, because it's not going to be a cloud in the sky. It's going to be just gorgeous.
Yeah. And so this is the first meeting with the Seals this year, and I think historically you guys have traveled well to them as a relatively new franchise to the NLL when we talk about it. What's the game plan when looking at a team like the Seals?
They're aggressive. They run. Their defense steps up to the to half and pressures. They have a couple guys that can just pick you up full court, right? About a lot of like American midi guys that can just cover you in the full thing. So get the ball into Josh and Dane's stick sort of as quick as we can. Let them sort of control the offense. Westberg's sort of their key. Like, they got Smallsy and they got a couple guys that can shoot, but Westberg is their key. So limiting the amount of damage he can do, and he's good he's good inside, he's good outside. He's a dog, man. He plays good. So I think he's sort of their key.
And so, I mean, do you get up more knowing where they are in the standings and where you are in the standings? Like,
again, it's another playoff game for us, essentially, right? Like, it comes down to, do we want to be in playoffs or do we not? I think we're getting pretty close. Like, there's certain teams are starting to lock in spots. So, like, I think we're in a pretty decent spot to control our own destiny, at least. So that's all it is. It's just win the games you need to win. We're not stupid to the standings. It's like, we know there's bigger games than other games, right? And this San Diego game is massive.
Well, and you've already gotten you got the tiebreaker against Toronto. You've got the tiebreaker against Georgia. So those both fall your way. So you guys could all of a sudden jump from 7th to 4th.
Dude, I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's wild.
If we end up with a freaking home playoff game out of this mess, Come on, Joey. Joey Rez,
Joey
my
Rez,
buddy.
bring it in.
Yeah.
All right, we went pretty long today. It is a March break edition, and so hopefully all you kids that are watching or listening, you can stick with us all the way through to the end. Hockey seasons are wrapping up. They're chasing red hats and all of this other stuff, and a little plug for myself. We're getting rolling here in Huntsville. We've got some spring tune-up clinics happening. Our friend of the show, Jason Knox, is running some stuff. I'll be running some things out of Bracebridge. So it's a pretty exciting time. All eyes are starting to turn to lacrosse here as the sun comes out for a little bit longer, even if the temperatures haven't.
Right on. Is there still time to sign up for your camp?
There is. Yeah, there's
Nice.
there's still a couple spots at each.
Couple spots?
Yeah, yes. But yeah, lots of fun.
Nice, dude. Awesome.
buddy.
That's Coach John.
Yeah, it is.
Coach John out of
Coach John
Bracebridge.
Lacrosse. That's
Beautiful.
right. Yeah, Huntsville
Beautiful,
Hawks.
beautiful.
All right. We're having lots of fun. Appreciate always. Best of luck. Travel safe and go Bandits.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.